I finally found what works best for me for the perfect brow. Now, I have both of my brows on currently, as you can see. These are not my full natural brows. I wish they were, but I finally figured out the best 3 products that work to achieve this look. I was really inspired by, fashion magazines, runway models that are all the girls on Natasha Denona's Instagram that have those big, beautiful, luscious brows, and here I am trying to achieve it. Felt like I could never have something like that, and I finally found the perfect 3 products that work for me. This video is not sponsored whatsoever. I just really truly love these products, and I finally found something that I feel isn't too out of reach as far as affordability, and it's something that anyone can really achieve. It just takes a little bit of practice, so I just wanted to share what I've practiced for the past few months to perfect what I consider my perfect brow. Okay, so the first product that really got me excited about my brows again, if you can be excited, because sometimes I just dread doing them, but I'm more excited because I know that they can get to a place that I'm happy with, and that is this product right here. This is the Ardell Stroke a Brow, and I've tried other brow markers out there that just don't do what this does, and it's due to a few things. This has the right color, and it also has the right amount of pigmentation. So I've tried other brow markers out there where the pigment is just too much, and then also the tip, the felt tip, if you can see it, is just so it's too thick. It can't create an actual brow stroke. So this really reminds me of almost like a Japanese like watercolor pen that I used in art school. So it kind of gives me that same feel where it actually creates what looks like an actual brow stroke. I'm saying actual too much, but it has that appearance. And so I use this along with a powder. The reason why I use a powder, and this is the next thing I'll get to, which is the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo. I use the shade Auburn, and the reason I use this is because although this is a great tone, this one here just has a little bit of red, and it adds a little bit of depth to the brow just to make it look more real. And then the last thing I do is I set my brows. And this is something that I've tried so many different brow products as far as setting my brows and gels go. When I found this product, it stopped me dead in my tracks because it works so well. And that is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. I am absolutely obsessed with this. You can see even my brows now, they're still sticking up here from where I set them. They don't normally do that. They fall to the side. I even had an esthetician tell me once when she waxed my brows, this was years ago, she told me that I was actually missing brow hairs here where I should have them. And I just felt so crushed. I was like, I'll never have good brows. I'll never have the right, framing of my face, because that's what brows do. They set the face. So I was very disheartened. I kind of was just like, I'll never have perfect brows. It'll be fine. Until I got this routine down. So I'm super excited to hop on and share this with you. So let's get started on the tutorial. Okay, now that you're zoomed in, I have this side right here. Typically when I wake up, these are all kind of like pushed over on one side because I'm a side sleeper, so they just kind of all like hang out in this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm starting off with the Morphe and Jeffree Star JS7 brush. It looks like this. And I am just going to start brushing the brow hairs all the way up, because what I want to do is I want to take this spot right here and just kind of extend it a little bit like I have over here. And it just helps frame my personal face shape better, and it emphasizes my arch where I like it a little bit more. It kind of is a mix between like a traditional Western brow and then a little bit of that kind of straight Korean brow, which always has that youthful appearance. So I kind of have my own blend or cocktail mix of the two. That's just how I like it. Do what's best for your face shape. There's plenty of books out there on it. I know a lot of people say you can use the edge of your nose to where your brow should start, and then the corner of your nose and then your pupil here to where the arch should be, and then the corner of your nose to the edge of your eye to where the tail end of the brow is. So when in doubt, I would just follow your own facial symmetry to perfectly frame your face. So what I'm going to do is start by brushing these up just like this. And then once I feel like they're just kind of out of the way over here where I'm going to start the lines, that's when I start using the Stroke a Brow by Ardell, and this is in the shade Medium Brown. Okay, so I will say this takes practice and it's about angle. So if you have a different angle, you're going to get a thicker line than if you are just doing like very light lines. So what we're gonna do, or what I like to do, is I like to kind of set my pinky here and just use this almost as a steadying tool for my actual brush itself. Sometimes I move it off my face, but some areas I need it. So that's just a tip from me to you. If that works for you, then great. And I'm going to start here, and I'm looking at how the brows are actually formed on my face. So they're actually going this way. They're all kind of diagonal. So that's what I'm going to try to mimic, is how the hairs are. So I'm starting here and I'm just very lightly going on, and I usually start lighter and then go darker, because you can always go darker, you can't go lighter. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here. And you can see I'm starting to build up slowly a little bit of depth there. And sometimes I'll even move these hairs away so I can get the right brow. And sometimes it'll go on a little darker, and that's okay because we can work with that later on. And then as I get to the tail, I kind of start to triangle shape it and just move it down to where both of these ends meet, and then you can extend it pretty easily with how you want. And then I'll go through the front of the brow, and this is when I start to go sideways, diagonal, and then I'm slowly going up this way. And I'll even do a little bit of strokes in the front of the brow. And then even sometimes these pieces right here get a little bit more sparse whenever I use the gel, and we'll get to that. So right now you can see I've built up the brow quite a bit. It looks a little bit streaky in some places or uneven, and that's okay, because I'm going to go back to my spoolie here, and then I'm just going to keep brushing that area, and I'll even kind of like wiggle it a little bit to move that product just a little bit to where it was maybe done a little bit too harsh or a little too dark, just to make it look more natural. So if you mess up or if it's too dark, that's okay. The spoolie is your friend. And then another thing that works really well is if you have these pointed Q-tips, you can also come in and then just kind of blend certain areas, or even take away with micellar water. I definitely recommend micellar water over an oil-based cleanser, just so you still have that base and doesn't get all oily when you go back into your marker, because that is no good at all either. So this is where I'm at. This is how it's looking. So it's still not where exactly I want it. And you can see this one over here still has a little bit more of that depth that we're looking for. So next I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Brow Powder Duo in Auburn. And I like to take this light shade right here, and I just get a little bit on my brush, tap it, and then I go in right here. And I'm really just going over those same areas. And I'm just bringing a little bit of warmth to my brow, since that medium brown is it's warm-ish, but it still is a little bit cooler for the red tones in my hair. And this just also softens the brow and gives it a little bit of depth. And again, I'm going in and I'm blending. So just like you would your eyeshadow or your foundation, the key is to blend, blend, blend. And if you wanted to find more of these brow hairs that you've drawn on, you can go back and do that. So it's really however you want them to look, or how defined you want them to look. You can even, if you get good enough at it, you can go in and it'll look like your brows are microbladed because this product just changes the way your brows look so well. So there's that. I could even add just a little bit more, or sometimes I'll even go to the dark powder. I don't always do this. Sometimes I do, and then I'll just add it to the tail end for a little bit more depth. And once I find that that's where I want it to be, then I will add my 24-hour brow setter. Okay, so now I'm going to use that 24-hour brow setter, and the thing that I love about this product is the way the wand is shaped. It's actually curved right here, which I really like because it's not so flat, so it's easy to get close to your face without putting on too much product or picking up the makeup around your brow. So I like to brush these straight up, and this is a clear brow gel, and it sets very quickly. I've used other brow gels. I've used Ulta's brand. I've used Glossier. I've used ABH. I've used a bunch of different ones, e.l.f. But this one is definitely my absolute favorite. It just really keeps those brows in place where you want them. So it may look a little bit wet at first, but it will definitely dry. And I've also found that they will stay until you want them to move. So whenever you take them off at the end of the day, or if for whatever reason they dry a little funny, or maybe you put one a little bit out of place, you can move them after the fact. It almost feels like, it feels like a well set hairspray, but not a stronghold where they feel crunchy. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a flexible hold that works like a strong hold, I guess is the best way to describe it. So yeah, so this is the finished brow over here. I did bring this one out just a little bit more just to kind of show you what the pen could do. So it doesn't match this side quite as much. They aren't twins, they're just sisters after all. Yeah, that's really it. I hope you found it helpful. If not, please leave what you do to make your brows perfect down below in the comments. I'd love to know. I'd love to try new things. And until next time, I will see you in my next video. Bye!